here. Welcome to Conversations with Jule. Good morning, Jule. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Siley. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here and thanks for helping all of us to realize
Yeah,
the steps that need to be taken in this grand process of rising from the resistance to unlimitedness.
yes, I'm doing my bit, but you are helping us so much by your grand demonstration. So thanks to you a lot. So, Jule, today it's a beautiful day, and I always feel very high vibe when I'm with you. Although I'm going to talk about a topic that makes me feel little low vibe because somehow we all feel very difficult when we talk about this subject, and I want to talk about death. So, this is again a mystical concept for me because nobody knows, nobody who has died has come back to tell us what really happens. So, first of all, I want to understand from you what really happens when we die.
Okay, it's another experience. Now, consider what happens when an individual has risen to their unlimitedness. And from the perspective, I am one with the whole. I am. What happens at that time of passing, the individual is united with the whole of all that you are.
So, is
Now,
that like rising to the next level of consciousness?
yes, because it's all everything is consciousness. Yes, every single thing that we do is consciousness. Remember, it starts with the mere survival when you're victimized and the manipulation so that you avoid being you avoid being the victim. And then you keep rising through the levels of pure love and expressing love. And ultimately, we're here to reach that level of the grand design where there is no mystery. And the grand design is the I am the whole. So what happens is your truth. You're united with the whole of God. And
So,
so
actually, it's a beautiful thing, isn't it? Because you kind of become grander and more
yes,
kind of, if I may say, enlightened after death.
yes. And the enlightened just keeps continuing. So the key is to do the work right here. From what I always say, this life on earth is the school for our soul. So when we are no longer separate from the unlimitedness, we overcome the things that held us in bondage. Because remember, the bondage is our creating. Okay? So if we're if we're fearful of death, for instance, that fear is projecting into reality. We have situations where individuals die. Well, of course it's a sad event. It's sad only because I'll tell you what happened when my mom passed. When my mom passed, it was such an incredible expression. Did I feel sadness that she wasn't going to be physically here? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also ran the beach in celebration that she has taken the next step to her freedom and loving her unconditionally. And what happened was that sadness immediately transformed to pure love.
Mm.
So what I was doing was helping her to reach the next step. Because her soul, our souls are here. If our souls are stagnant because of the fear and all of the things that we haven't fixed, we haven't repaired in terms of our breaks, that's going to take us to the next level. Now, will we come back? We may come back as a child. We may come back as the energy of a sister or a brother. It depends on what we need. Because remember, the need is what we realize. Every single thing is present so that we gain everything that we need. Our needs are fulfilled always.
So, are you saying that we decide what we want to come into this world as, with what role and life?
Not consciously, for one reason. Because when we're resisting truth, we're not aware. It's only when we align with truth that we have that wisdom of being able to move to the next levels. You see?
So it happens unconsciously. We just, get again have birth or remain in
Yeah,
that other realm.
okay, remember all of your needs are always fulfilled. So if you gain insight, let's assume you pass from this world and you have a lot of resistance that you were holding on to. That means that you need to have needs fulfilled so that you can overcome. Why are we here? That's the first question. Why are we here? To reach that level of our divine essence, which is being one with the grand creator. That's why we're here.
But tell me something. So after we die, we anyway become one with the universal consciousness. Why do we want to do it while we are on Earth?
Well, the one with the one with the whole doesn't accomplish unless our consciousness is of the whole. So if a person goes into resistance and then passes, that person needs to continue, not as one with the whole, but even to come back. The spirit has to come back, whether it's here. I mean, we have to be limited beings or thoughts of limited beings if we think that this is all that there is. This earth. There's got to be spirit energy everywhere. So what do you need in order to achieve the next level? I mean, there are people that have communicated about purgatory. Well, that's that holding cell. I mean, you've probably heard about it. Purgatory is where souls go and they don't really know where they're supposed to go, so they kind of hold in abeyance. It's kind of like a holding cell.
Is it like hell? Hell or something? I don't know.
Well, the hell, and you know what? We create our hell right on Earth, don't we? If we're projecting energy, hellish energy, that's exactly what we're going to create wherever we are. So this beautiful arrangement that we've created on Earth is the school for the soul, so that we can identify the things that hold us in bondage so that we can rise to our unlimitedness. That's really what this is all about.
See, when you're telling me this, it really makes me feel amazing about every experience that I'm having.
Yes.
But because we don't know this, because we think that this is the end, death is the end, and there is nothing else. So this is what is making us fearful, isn't it?
Yeah, see, you're exactly right. The focus is on the loss. The focus, if we believe that's the end, that's the loss. And we never realize that experience is presented to us so that we can identify what it is that is causing us the unrest, so that we can move through it. Kind of like when my mom died. I mean, I could have been totally, and you've seen it in many ways, where individuals are totally focused on the loss. They're remorseful. They feel guilty. They feel like there's a void. Well, that's not truth. That's the illusion that we create because we're victimized by somebody else's actions, including their death. We grieve. We recognize that the person is gone. Well, that spirit just continues into another realm. So if we can unconditionally love that person to move forward and realize what they need so that they can achieve another level of their freedom, because that's really what we're here to do.
Yeah, I think this kind of the grief that people get stuck into, I realize something, that we don't grieve for people we don't know. Like if some strangers are dying, we don't grieve. We only grieve when our loved ones die. So it's definitely to do with our emotional attachment and nothing to do with death as such.
Exactly. It's really about you, and that's true. And that's the great thing. So if you can look at yourself and say, okay, what am I holding on to? There's an attachment that's so significant. Well, you know what? The most beautiful thing is when we don't have dependencies on other people. And we can only do that when we realize that we're free. And those dependencies cause demands of others.
Yeah.
And those are the things. Okay, go ahead, hon.
So even the death experience of your loved ones is actually an experience for, if it's affecting you, it's an experience for you to grow beyond that emotional attachment.
And the great part about it is continue to take those steps so that you realize who you are. When you're one with the whole, you will begin to recognize exactly why every experience occurs to everyone. It just makes perfect sense. And see, because remember, truth is love, and it's also wisdom.
Yeah. I think wisdom kind of now, see the wisdom that you are telling me right now, that we are this infinite beings, we continue even after death. If we knew this really, we believed in it, we wouldn't be so affected by anything. How did you get that knowledge?
The only way that we can believe means it's of the mind. When we're beyond the mind and we realize we're one with the whole, because see, that's required in order to achieve the unlimitedness. Because our mind is holding on to all of yesterday's knowledge. Well, yesterday's knowledge may be wonderful, but the grandness of all of the wisdom is really where we are. That's what we have available to us.
Yeah, I'm just realizing when you're saying grandness, and we keep saying we are infinite beings, if we really believe, I mean, not to use the word believe, but if we really are infinite, we must believe that we continue even after death. Otherwise, what is the meaning of infinite?
Yes, and it is infinite. You're totally right, because that's really what our true capacity. Think about the true potential that we have. I mean, every day I see something grander and grander than the day before. It just becomes so expansive. It's beyond the mind, beyond the body-mind connection, beyond even the personality.
Yeah.
And it's certainly
Just one
beyond
last,
duality. What, hon?
just one last bit. I mean, I think for me, and I think for most people, death is not a problem, but the pain that comes with the death is most fearful because I'm more afraid of pain. So what do you have to say about that?
Okay, well, what's happening is the pain is that you're victimized, that there's another person that is dictating how you feel or how you respond. So that's the break that's caused by mind. So you need to identify that and say, okay, this is what I'm feeling. These are the thoughts. I can't stand my life because he's gone or she's gone. And then transform that energy into pure love. Then what's happening is you're unconditionally loving the person for playing a role for you, because the person that has deceased or whatever they're doing are playing a role so that you can identify. It's part of your creation. It's part of your movie that you're creating on your stage of life.
Yes, that's true for the emotional pain. I'm also talking about we feel physical pain when we die, right? Is that right? I'm not sure.
Many people feel physical pain because the physical pain, remember, is a level of consciousness, because that's what we've accepted. So we're victimized by our own body. Yeah, definitely. And I think we need to do a session on that, because that was something that I just addressed a couple of days ago with someone that was dealing with this. And I think that this is ripe.
So even the physical pain is our creation.
Yes, most definitely. We create whatever we need. If we're victimized by our body, if we're victimized by somebody's death, if we're victimized by somebody calling us names, we are the victim. And that is only because our consciousness has accepted it. And that's what we project. There's separation.
Wow, I think this is so critical and vital information for everyone, because if everyone knew that their loved ones, when they're dying, that's not the end of it, and they continue in the next journey, I think they'll be a lot more peaceful and calm about it.
Oh my goodness, yes. Because see, we have this sense of dependency on people being present in our lives. Well, those people have to go through their experiences as well. I'll never forget the day that my mom passed this earth, and I'm running on the beach, and it was in Florida, in the US, and it was the most amazing thing because I had these incredible tears, and they began as sadness, and they emit it into pure joy. And I was running and just, my arms are going, and I felt where she was. I felt her, and it was amazing.
I think that could be the most beautiful experience if you can feel that your loved ones are still present.
Yes.
If you can get to that consciousness where you can feel their presence,
yes.
Then,
And the greatest key to that is you keep rising to the level of who you are, and that is a given.
Yep, everything comes down to that.
Everything.
Just keep working on it.
Yep.
Yes. Thank you so much, Jule. I think this was very beautiful and it opened up a new door for me. I'm sure for many other people. Thank you so much, darling.
Thank you, my love.
Bye. See you again next time.
Okay.
Bye.